Welcome back to the lesson. In our previous video, we discussed about how to use the database seeder to insert data into our database, where we have inserted the admin's information, and we've discussed that we're going to be terminating the default registration page. And this is basically the information that we've inserted. The information is successfully inserted inside our database. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and log in with the latest admin information that we have inserted recently in our previous video. We have the email as admin@gmail.com and password as 111. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So let's provide the email, which is admin@gmail.com, and the password should be 111, and let's log in. Yes, it's perfectly working. So basically what I want to discuss in this video is, as you can see, by default, admin can only be able to log into his dashboard using his email and password. So what if I want the admin to be logged in with his username or name instead of his email? How do I achieve that? So to achieve that, we need to be able to trace the login request controller. And how do we trace the login request controller of our default Breeze authentication system? We can simply do that by coming over to our terminal. There's the route list artisan command that we can use to print out the entire routes of our application. There we will be able to trace our login request controller. So let's go ahead and use that command, php artisan routes list, and then hit enter. So these are basically the entire routes in our application. Let's go ahead and trace the login. So for the login route, you can see now the login request controller is inside the authentication session controller and store method, inside store method. So let's go ahead and trace this path inside of our application source code. So let's go ahead and go to app, inside HTTP controllers, authentication session controller. And inside the authentication session controller, here is our login request. And if you hover over this our login request, you're going to see the path through which the login request reside inside auth HTTP request, auth login request. So inside HTTP request, this is the request, auth, and login request. So here is the login request. So if you open the login request, you're going to see that this is where the rules are. It says only the email, password are required for the admin to be able to log into his dashboard. So we're going to change the rules. We're going to go ahead and say, instead of the email, which is this, the email, we're going to change it to the name. The admin should only provide his name and password to be logged in into his dashboard. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's come over here. Instead of email, I'm going to change it to name, and then I'm going to remove this. The rules should only be required string, but not email. And then let me go ahead and copy this name, copy, and change this to email as well. And then also for the validation exception as well, I want to change it to name. Now our admin will only use his name and password instead of email to log into his dashboard. And also we need to go ahead and make some changes to the view as well, because by default the input field here is set to email, and we need to change it to text and also change this level to username. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our code. Let's find the view. The view will be found inside the resource folder, inside views, auth, and login. So let's find the email input field. Yes, the email input field. So this is it. So we're going to go ahead and say level for name, or just say username. Let's go ahead and copy this. Set this one also to username. Type to text, name to name, and then all value to also name. I don't think we'll need this autofocus and autocomplete. So let's go ahead and delete this. Get arrows to name as well. And friend, that's it. That's all we need to do. So let's come over here to test this. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And as you can see now, the level has changed to username. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's say admin, and the password should be 111, and let's try to log in. Yes, now we have successfully changed the role. Now admin can log in with his username instead of email as it was specified by default. Now we can simply log in with our username admin, password 111, and there we have it. So friend, I hope everything is clear to you and that you enjoy this video. So keep learning to code, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.